Wonderful people, I hope you're doing well. So I am in Paris and I am immersing myself back within this here environment. Guys, one thing that's pretty spectacular about moving to a new country, well, there's many things that are spectacular, but one thing that really stands out for me is that everything you're doing is new. So you're really stepping into a complete new paradigm. When you move to another city, when you move to another country, you're stepping into the new. So everything is progress in that sense. So everything that you're doing is a step forward. And I think that's something really important to shine a light on and to celebrate, because often when people move to another place, it can seem a little bit daunting. It can seem like a big step-by-step process of how to integrate into that environment. But if you just remember that you took this leap of faith, you took this step because you were very courageous, you were very brave. So you made progress already and you've moved forward already. So just remember that everything you're doing is progress. So just give it back to yourself, pat yourself on the back and just remember that you're doing an incredibly good job and you're making a lot of progress every day. That's the first thing I wanted to say. And the second thing I wanted to say is that the key ingredient, the fuel I found that's so valuable to changing your life and moving forward is faith. Just having a bit of faith. I was listening to a really interesting podcast by Dean Graziosi, and he was talking to a client of his that said they didn't have faith in their business. They didn't have so much faith in anything. It's just not something they have. And then he asked that client of his, he said, "Oh, have you driven a car today?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" And he said, "Oh, you had faith in that. You had faith in the vehicle, that the car was functioning and it would get you there safely. Did you drive on a road?" "Yeah, why?" "You have faith that the drivers on the other side didn't drive into you and crash into you. You had faith that they stayed on their side of the road." So that client started realizing, they do have faith and they have lots of faith in many things. It's just they hadn't channeled it into the particular aspect of their life that they were looking to improve. So faith is all around us and we've got faith in everything, and we just need to remember to channel that into what we're working on. And that's something I've been doing for myself with this new experience, being in France. Yeah, it looks like a beast at first, this huge thing like, oh man, I'm going to move to France. How am I going to become fluent in French? How am I going to make euros? I've got to make money in another currency. That's crazy. I've got to set up a bank, all these things step by step. And truth is, I don't have to make euros. I can make dollars, pounds, anything. It doesn't matter with today's modern age. But the point I'm making is that, sometimes it feels a little bit overwhelming and it seems like there's so much. However, it's a step-by-step process and it's about having a little bit of faith. So today, that's the theme. I'm out here, I'm making progress every day, step by step. And really, that's the best thing that you can do in life. That is really all you can do. So how are you guys feeling about living abroad? Have you experienced that? Comment below. Anyone else that's experienced a similar feeling, or anyone else that's going through something similar, a similar chapter in their life. I'd love to hear your thoughts.